Hello me TBDs, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be testing out the brand new Urban Decay Stay Naked The Fix Powder Foundation. Never used this. I saw actually that Taylor use it and recommend it, and I was like, I wonder if this is better than the Makeup Forever matte blurring powder that we all love. So if you guys like these types of videos, be sure to give this one a thumbs up so I know. And don't forget to subscribe because I do upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. This powder was $39. I think the Makeup Forever one is $38. So you're not really saving any money, but you guys, this has really good reviews on Sephora. It looks like there are 24 shades of this powder. I have the shade 30NN Light Neutral. It is the fourth one down from the lightest because the rest of them said they had like a peachy or a rosy undertone, and that is not my life. But the lightest one that had a neutral undertone looked like this. And this is the shade that I got. So there's just no way that I was gonna be that light of a foundation shade. It says this is a weightless vegan longwear powder foundation with buildable medium coverage and a real skin matte finish that lasts up to 16 hours. Says it's good for normal, dry, combination, and oily skin. It's supposed to have a silky, breathable formula that's water and sweat resistant, with moringa seed oil for anti-pollution and anti-aging benefits. Includes a charcoal infused sponge to detoxify and mattify skin with every application. That's very fascinating, like the sponge is charcoal. So let's go ahead and hop in. I'm going to first do like my primer, all of that real fast, and then we can get to putting on the powder. I'm curious, I've seen so many good things about this, and it really wasn't on my radar until I saw that Taylor talk about it, and I'm like, what is that? I'm actually headed to a baby shower in about a half hour, so that's the time frame I have to film this video. All right, so first I'm gonna go in with the Tarte Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer. So close to being out of this. I'm gonna use this powder foundation kind of like I would if I was just using it on an everyday basis, which is to set my liquid foundation with, not just have it as a powder foundation that I would just use just the powder part. I'm gonna be taking the Kokie Full Cover Foundation today. This is one of my favorites. So good, long lasting, everything about it is glorious, especially if you have oily skin. Maybe if I like it over the liquid foundation, I can use it just on its own to see how it does. I usually always go in with liquid foundation first. This foundation gives the nicest coverage. It's so smoothing. It smells nice. Everything about this foundation is on point, you guys. And I would say this foundation has quickly become one of my favorite drugstore foundations ever. I think for this video, I might actually also do another day that is just the powder foundation, just to see if it's any different wearing it on its own versus over a liquid foundation. Foundation is on. I'm gonna take the CoverGirl Undercover Concealer. All right, now it's time to go in with this powder. Let's open it on up. Wow, look at that. Ooh, that's so pretty. Ooh, okay, I already got fingerprints on it. No. Okay, it's this kind of packaging that's gonna get that way. But the Urban Decay part is raised. I don't know if you can see that, but these letters are raised, so that's really cool. Oh, okay, so you open it up and there's actually the sponge on the bottom. I really like that because then you don't have to keep taking the sponge out every single time you want to use this powder. And I'm glad I got the shade I did, you guys, because look at that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set everything down. Wow, it's very powdery. This has 0.21 ounces of product. I have to look up how much the Makeup Forever one has, but it set down my concealer really nicely. So I'm just gonna take my powder brush. This is definitely lighter than it looks like in the Sephora, on Sephora. So just a heads up, be a little aware that this is not the same shade. And I'm glad I got the shade. I went with the undertone better than just looking at it on Sephora's website, because it definitely looked darker on Sephora's website, and I was actually a little concerned that it was going to be too dark for me. That's weird. It's making me look like I have a mustache. That's odd. It's the only place that looks heavy. I might take a makeup remover wipe and take it off right there. Now I really look like I have a mustache. Wow, should I just go out like this? All right, I'm going to take more foundation. Now I'm gonna take my brush and go back over it. That looks better. Why did it look so weird the first time around? Okay, so one thing I do notice is it is darkening on the skin a little bit. So it looks lighter in the pan, but it actually is darkening a little bit to match my neck. Well, here's how my skin is looking. It does look really nice. It looks very soft, very blurred. Let's try out this sponge here. I do like that I can take the sponge and use it as I go. It looks like pretty full coverage right now with the combination of this foundation and this powder. Like, I don't notice my skin coming through, but yeah, it looks really nice. It's not settling anywhere weird after this whole thing. I don't know what was going on there, but now it looks fine. I would say, okay, trust the shade on the on the Sephora website now, because it is darkening a little bit compared to what it looks like in the pan. My skin does not look this light, so maybe it does match the Sephora website. My pores are basically gone, like 100%. Added some really good coverage. My skin just looks really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup. I will be back and share with you guys how everything else went on. Oh, and it is 9:54 right now. All right, guys, I'm back. I just finished up the rest of my makeup. It is 10:14, so I'm definitely late and I have to run out the door. Here's how my skin is looking. It does look very nice. It looks very full coverage. I wonder if I'll like it better tomorrow when I just use it as a powder foundation instead of adding it on top of a foundation that does claim to be a little bit more full coverage. I think it's just a little bit more full coverage than I'm used to, but I'm not mad about it. I do think it looks very nice. It looks matte. I could definitely see this being more of a like long wearing night out type of powder foundation instead of an every single day powder foundation. You know, I guess it depends on what kind of foundation you put it over if you just use the powder, but I'm curious to see how it looks tomorrow, if it does look as full coverage as this right now. I will check back at the very end of the day and show you guys how my skin looked. I may insert some clips throughout the day of like how it's wearing, but if it wears 16 hours, that is craziness. I will check back later in the day. It is 2 o'clock right now. I wanted to show you how my skin's looking with the powder. I'm actually very, very surprised because I thought that it looked maybe a little too heavy under the lights, but now that I am in natural lighting, it looks really nice, you guys. I am getting a little bit oily on my chin right here, and it's only been 4 or 5 hours that I've had this on, so we're gonna have to see how it does. We are gonna go hiking though, because I know that this powder says it's supposed to be like sweat and water resistant. We're gonna put it to the test. We're gonna see how it does. So we just finished with our hike and here's how my skin is looking. So I'm definitely a little oily, not as bad as I was thinking that it was going to be, but it is currently 4 o'clock and we just did like a 2-mile-ish hike and some stairs. So here's how the skin is looking. Definitely oily right here. So I wouldn't say it's like sweat proof, and it is coming off on my nose a little bit, but I'd say for doing a hike and stuff, it doesn't look horrible. I think I may touch up with some blotting sheets though, because looking greasy. It is the end of the day. It is 7:30, and so a little bit under 10 hours, but you guys, this stuff is no joke. I showed you guys earlier how my skin looked right after the hike, but all I did was use a blotting sheet to get up the excess oil from the hike, and this is how my skin looks. Looks very nice, still very full coverage. I will say around my nose, it didn't hold up as well as I was hoping to, but my forehead looks totally fine. My cheeks look great. My chin, my nose, for the most part, looks really nice. And I mean, we were in like 70-degree heat hiking the 2 miles and then running up and down the stairs at Red Rocks. And for it to look this nice, that is super, super awesome. It felt nice throughout the day. Every time I looked at my skin, I thought my skin looked really nice. So I'm eager to see how this wears tomorrow with just the powder and some concealer instead of on a super full coverage foundation like the Kokie Full Cover. I think it looked a little heavy and like more full coverage than I really am used to at the beginning of the day, but now that I have seen it on my skin, it's warmed up to my skin a little bit. I do really like it. I will do another wear test of this tomorrow, and then I can give you guys my final thoughts of this product. All right, you guys, it is day 2. My voice is really raspy apparently. It's 7:45 in the morning. It actually is the day after spring forward, so I lost an hour of sleep and feel it. So today I'm primarily going in with primer. I'm gonna start with my Revlon Pore Reducing Primer. It did not break me out after wearing this foundation, which is really nice. Primer is on. I'm gonna start with my CoverGirl Undercover concealer and just kind of add concealer to the spots that I might need a little extra coverage on my skin here. This is a technique I like to do, just adding a little bit of concealer to the spots that I get a little red before I go in with powder foundation. I do this when I'm like wanting a little bit lighter coverage on my skin, but I do definitely have some redness. So I like to add some concealer instead of just going in with the powder foundation, because that way, once I go in with the powder foundation, I already have just a little bit of coverage. And I'm gonna add just a little more right here. Now I'm gonna go in with the powder foundation and set everything down. Yeah, this is definitely adding some coverage to the skin, but it doesn't look bad. It looks a little bit more medium coverage, which is what the foundation claims to be. And I have used this sponge to touch up a little bit. I wouldn't say it's as amazing at touch-ups as the Makeup Forever one. Ow, I just scratched my nose. I definitely use that one throughout the day to touch up any spots on my skin where my foundation is rubbing off. So I do notice like that one just has so much automatic coverage that it helps with that. This one, you have to build it up just a little bit more, but it's not like you couldn't take this as a touch-up powder with you. That's like my favorite way to wear the Makeup Forever one too, is like putting it on, but then also having it as a touch-up, because it just adds like the most coverage right away. All right, skin looks really nice. It definitely looks very matte, very good medium coverage, and it just looks really nice. It looks the same as yesterday, just a little bit less coverage. I do want to share with you guys the difference between the Makeup Forever one. So in this powder, you get 0.21 ounces of product, and in the Makeup Forever one, you get 0.38. So you get definitely more in the Makeup Forever powder, and is $1 cheaper. So just keep that in mind when you are, trying to pick between the two powders, because I feel like they're pretty comparable. I'm gonna go ahead and finish out the rest of my makeup. I'll be back and share with you guys how everything went on. I just finished out the rest of my makeup. It is 8:10 in the morning, so I'm gonna continue to wear this throughout the day. I gotta say, I like this better today than I did yesterday. Like, I like adding it on top of some concealer and having it be a little more lighter coverage. I think the finish still looks exactly the same as if I were to put it on top of another foundation. Like, it looks just as soft and blurring and matte as it did yesterday. I just prefer the coverage. I feel like it doesn't look as heavy today, and it looks a little bit more skin-like and more like fresh and natural, So I definitely like it so far better this way. And yeah, I'm really liking how it looks on the skin. The more I look at my skin, the more I'm like, wow, this is a good powder. So I'm gonna go ahead and wear it throughout the day. If you are curious, I am wearing the ColourPop Luxe Matte Lipstick in the shade Layover. I've been into lipsticks lately. You guys, you know that I don't do lipsticks, but I'm just like, hey, it's almost summer, spring, so I'm gonna lipstick it up and we're gonna see how it goes. And I wore lip gloss for the first time all day yesterday, and it was a weird thing. I'm growing as a person, and I'm proud of myself. So far, everything looks pretty dang flawless, pretty nice, and very fresh. So I will check back in later in the day. It is currently 12:10. Can you see that? And we are actually gonna go hiking again. I think I talked about this in another video of mine, but we are, I guess, currently in training for a potential hike in Yosemite in California. So that's why we're doing so much hiking. But I wanted to show you guys how my skin is looking. So it looks really nice, you guys. Like, I really like this powder on its own. I think it looks really nice, very natural, very like good medium coverage, and I'm not getting oily or anything yet. So I think that, I definitely like how this powder looks even with hiking. And yeah, I really don't have any complaints about this. I really do like the powder. I think it's just trying to decide between like, if I like it more than the Makeup Forever one, because it is definitely more, you don't get as much product, and there's all those pieces as well. But we're gonna go on our hike now, so if I'm oily, that's just from hiking. Just got back from the hike. I'm actually so surprised at this powder foundation. Like, it looks so nice, and like, even after hiking, it doesn't look bad. I mean, I'm a little bit oily, but like, it stayed on. It looks really nice. You guys, this powder is no joke. It is super good if you have oily skin, and it's 3:15 right now, and we just hiked a 4.5 mile hike. So the fact that my skin looks like this and we just hiked a crap ton is really awesome. So I will check back in at the very end of the evening, but I just wanted to show you guys how my skin looked after doing the hike. It's the very end of the day. It is 7:30. I don't remember when I first started filming this, maybe like 8 something probably, but I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video here. As you guys can see, I'm a little oily, but not bad. I've actually really enjoyed having this powder on. I would definitely wear it again in the future. Part of me still feels like the Makeup Forever powder is a little bit better because number one, it's $1 cheaper. You get more product, and I feel like there's a better shade range than this Urban Decay powder. I also carry the Makeup Forever powder with me everywhere I go because it just doesn't take a whole lot for me to add coverage to my skin. For example, if I blow my nose, like my nose is looking a little rough because I've been having a runny nose, and that happens often. So I blow my nose a lot, and then I have to reapply using the powder. I feel like when I apply the powder from this product with the sponge, I have to build it up a little bit more than I do the Makeup Forever one. Like the Makeup Forever one just adds instant coverage. So I really, really love that one. I think I like the packaging a little bit more. This seems very thick and bulky, you know? I do think that this looks very pretty. I would definitely continue to use it. I think that it's almost as good as the Makeup Forever one, but if I'm going to have to choose between the two, I still think the Makeup Forever one wins, and I'm going to continue to repurchase that. However, this is still a very, very good powder. I really don't have anything bad to say about this powder other than it just doesn't necessarily beat out the Makeup Forever one, but if that's not what you're looking for, you're just looking for a good mattifying, long-wearing, very like good medium coverage powder foundation, this is a good one. I'm not saying I don't like it because I definitely do like it. It's just in my head I'm trying to compare like which one is more worth it to me. I'm excited that I have it. I'm going to continue to use it, and I do think that it is a very, very, very good product. I can see the hype around it. My skin definitely does look so nice, and I really am shocked at how well it held up after my hikes. Like normally I'd be dripping, sweating, yucky. I was actually very surprised with how this did with my hikes both days. So I'd say if you're thinking about it, you definitely should get it. Those are my final thoughts. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you like me doing like a 2-day wear test type thing, because sometimes you get a better idea of how a product wears instead of just wearing it for one day. So if you want to see videos like this in the future, let me know that down in the comments below. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you. I hope you had a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.